Can I get your name and your title?
Sure. Eric Cooper, and I'm the Assistant Vice President for Enrollment Management.
Okay. And I'm Jocelyn. I am a student. I write for the Mesquite. I'm a comm major. So right now we're working on a lot of stories, and one of the ones that I got assigned is the new freshman class coming in.
Yay.
I guess I'm taking the angle of more what to expect since they're not here yet. We don't really know. But about how many applications have we received?
484.
484? And what is our goal if we have one?
So the way it was approved through the state for downward expansion is that we would be looking at an additional 600 students for fall 16. Mm. So above and beyond any growth that we have normally at the junior, senior, and graduate level. So they were hoping for 600 new students due to downward expansion. That can actually come from freshmen or sophomores, since we've had to have 45 credits to get in. Mm-hmm. So basically, it can be a split, but we're looking for 600 students. We're hoping right now it's going to be about 300 freshmen and about 300 sophomores.
Okay. Can you give me a cohort? Where are they coming from? Is it local or out of state?
Actually, right now, I don't know how many out of state we have, but right now, about half of them are outside of the commuting area.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting Dallas, Houston, Austin, the Valley. But right now, about half of them would need some sort of housing. And
that's what was one of my questions: is where are they gonna go?
So
what's the closest?
We've got. So have you seen that they're building the Palo Alto housing right up here?
No.
Okay, across from Palo Alto College, not on the same side of the road, but on our side of 410, mm-hmm. They're putting in student housing.
Okay.
It's primarily geared for Palo Alto students, but we're assuming that we'll probably have some space there. So we're working on trying to get space there. We're also looking at several of the apartment complexes around here, and also the Tobin Loft over near Sac.
Okay. Even though that's still a little commute, it's still kind of the
correct
young, friendly.
Yes. So it's about 15 minutes away. It's near Sac. It's very traditional, so you would still have all students. You would have a student, resident assistant, or whatever, mm-hmm. on each floor. So it's still very traditional, but it would still be a 15-minute commute from campus. Mm-hmm. So right now, the goal is to have on-campus housing fall 17.
Yes, and those will be more like the UTSA ones where they're furnished.
More traditional, yeah.
So you said that a lot of them were still in Texas. Are there any applications from out of state?
That I don't know. I don't have a breakdown for that yet.
Oh, okay. So that's still. Are we going to accept the full 600, or is there a cap? We're only going to take a certain amount, the rest we have to say no, and then an elimination process?
Since this is a brand new experience for us, not a lot of schools get to start this. This doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
We're not certain how many we're going to get. The goal is to have about 1,100 applications and then be able to pull a freshman class of about 300 from that. Mm-hmm. So if we get 400 and we have the space, we will try to accommodate 400.
Oh, okay. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Is it going to affect the size of the classes? Because right now, I'm in some classes and it's pretty full and it's only 20 people. But right. I assume...
So let me ask you a question about that, because this will give us some information. You're talking about a full class of 20?
Around.
Is there room for more students in there?
Honestly, my PR class in the morning is in the so it's cab 3 something.
Okay.
And we have to bring in a picnic table for 3 extra students. Now, I don't know if the professor accepted them, even though the class was full, but we do have to bring in an extra table. And then some of them...
So you're in 319? Is it 319?
I think so. It's the Mac Lab.
So that one is a specific to computers and
to the comm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So because the reason I was
asking
that...
And then my socio class. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
My socio class is pretty full, too.
Most of our classrooms hold 36. Mm-hmm. So is that in a traditional room? Do you have 36 students in there?
I would say.
Okay.
About.
So that's part of... The short answer to your question is probably not going to change much, because most of our classrooms only hold 36. And you can't go above fire code regulation. Mm-hmm. Although it sounds like you may have done that in the Mac Lab.
Oh,
so,
off the record.
So we won't... Because there is a cap for the class, and then there's a cap for the room. And a lot of, if it's a writing intensive course, it might have a cap of 24.
Okay.
However, it might be in a room that would hold 36 students. So you've got a cap for the room class of 24, but for the room of 36. So could a course like that increase? Maybe. But most of our classes can't go above 36 because we don't have the space. I mean, you can't bring more, or you shouldn't bring in more chairs because that's above fire code and that's not
Legal.
allowed.
Yeah.
So the goal is to not have large classes. I mean, we're still going to be able to say that most of our classes are not above 35 or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe some of the general business courses that are held at Brooks might be a little bit larger. But remember, we're going to be bringing in mostly freshmen and sophomores, which shouldn't affect a lot of the
upper level,
junior and senior level courses.
Oh, okay. And that was one of my questions as well, is will they also be at the Brooks campus? And
so right now, we're going to try to keep most of the freshmen here at main campus. This is our first freshman class. It's our inaugural class. This is the class that we're going to hey, you get to be the first freshman here, which we think is going to probably be a draw. But we also want them to be very successful. So we are setting up a lot of different things to make sure they're successful. We're setting up a university college. We're setting up success coaches. We're centralizing advising. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing that will, of course, benefits juniors and seniors as well, but that will support that first class because they're a traditional age, and so that's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for them. Rather than going to PAC or SAC or St. Philip's or something, they're going to be coming here, and it's going to be maybe a little bit more of an adjustment.
So there are going to be programs and orientation specifically for them as a welcoming?
Absolutely. You probably have done a new student orientation here. It was probably
I did
online.
It at Brooks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was probably online, right? Or did you do a face-to-face?
I think I was required to do a face-to-face.
Okay. Business might have required you to do... Did you do the online too? They might have required you to do both. I don't remember.
No. Actually, I think
Okay.
it was at the time when you didn't have to. You just picked one of them.
One or the other?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I went to the one at Brooks, and it was like an all-day thing.
Okay. So what we're going to be doing, the transfer new student orientation, because they're new to the university, probably won't be quite as involved. The freshmen will be. So it'll be more of a traditional new student orientation where you come in, you get an orientation to the university. You also meet with an advisor and you register before you leave. So it's going to be more involved. I don't know. There are a lot of things that we're working on right now.
It's pending.
We're hiring a new assistant vice president for the university college, which would be over experiential learning. Director of success would be over the orientation program, would be over the bridge program, the summer bridge program, and over first-year experience.
So along with the incoming freshmen is going to be an influx of faculty as well. That we're
Correct.
looking to
We have
get.
to have a lot of student affairs staff and a lot of faculty to support 600 new students.
Right.
And, of course, a lot of our freshmen and sophomores need more support than upper-level students. They're used to it. They're probably going to need more tutoring. We're going to have more core class. We're going to have all the core classes, all the lower division courses. So it's a complete adjustment for us.
So we have to get like the intermediate math teachers and all that. And
Right.
all. Okay.
Right.
So sorry to go back to
Nope,
this.
that's
I was
fine.
just kind of confused. So we are only going to accept, even though the goal of the applications is 600, we're only going to take about 600, no more, because there's no space.
Actually, what we're doing, we are looking at a bunch of different things that we can do. Right now, we don't use a lot of morning classes. We have a lot of evening, late afternoon classes. So we've done some analysis. We may have to make some adjustments in our course schedule. I am assuming that our fall 16 class schedule is going to be very different than our fall 15 has been. What we're doing is we're making sure that we can accommodate as many students as we need with our freshman seminar courses, with the core classes and things like that. So we're gonna do what we can to accommodate as many students as we need to accommodate.
Okay, so there's no cap. There's just kind of
We do not have a cap
working
right
on
now.
numbers right
now.
now.
We do not have a cap that says we can only take so many.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Are we doing anything for out-of-state recruitment?
We have not done anything for out-of-state recruitment. All of our recruitment has been primarily within about a 60-mile radius. We are doing some TAC row in Houston, Austin, the Valley.
So south, mostly south.
Yes. I think the institution was actually primarily built to serve the southern part of Texas.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're kind of focusing on.
Right. Because up there, they have a lot. In North Texas.
Yeah. Right.
Can you give me like an admissions timeline, like how it's going to work? So they apply online.
Yep.
And when do they get notified of yay or nay?
So what we're doing, we're still in the process. We've been given, we can tentatively recruit freshmen. So right now we're recruiting, we're taking applications. SACS COC, our Southern Association, actually won't be making the final decision until end of November or 1st of December as far as whether they're going to approve us or not. We're pretty certain they're going to approve us, but their board has to meet and make that decision. Then after that, we'll make our decision. So we're holding off on files until after they meet to make decisions.
So we're accepting the applications, but
we're accepting the applications.
Has been
we're taking high school transcripts. What we're telling freshmen is that we will probably make a decision on their file in January. If it's earlier than that, we would be happy, and they probably would be too.
Yes. And when is the last day to apply?
June 30th is the last day for freshmen to apply. And the reason for that is we need to get them in here and make sure that they've got new student orientation done and all that sort of stuff.
So they're ready to go. Yeah. Are there going to be scholarships geared toward them?
So we're still working on that. You know that we just announced at the President's inauguration that we had a $1 million scholarship gift granted to us. We're trying to determine where best to use that money, of course, to endow some scholarships so that we're not just giving it all out. They're self-sustainable. We're looking at that. We're looking at an honors program. We're looking at some different things and trying to determine what kind of scholarships are going to be appropriate. Of course, we'll have all the need-based stuff as far as Pell Grant. We have not yet done our application for the state aid because right now we're still making the application for the federal aid. But we're hoping to have our new federal code in November or December so that we can send that out to everybody. So when are you graduating?
Hopefully this May.
Okay. So you won't have to worry about it. But so anybody who's going to be coming back fall 16, we're hoping you're going to be using a different federal code and it won't be Kingsville's.
Right, because that was always like a confusion for me. I was like, oh, I hope it goes to the right place.
So, so we'll be looking at state grants and scholarships and stuff like that. So it'll open up a whole lot of possibility.
Okay, I think that answers all of my questions and some. So if you wanted to add anything else that you feel would be beneficial.
Keep watching. We're getting ready we're working on a housing page right now. We'll still see announcements come out about what we're going to be doing for bridge programs and new student orientation. You'll probably pay much attention to it, but we'll probably have a new course schedule the beginning of April. We're going to move registration around a little bit. Summer will still probably start in April. But fall, we're going to need to push it back to May because right now we're also doing our migration from Kingsville's Banner instance into ours, our student information system. And so what's going to happen in March, we're going to have to work spring and summer in one computer system, and for fall, we have to work in another. So we're going to run two systems parallel from March through August. So it's going to be a little confusing. So we didn't want everybody to try to open up and do summer and fall registration at the same time because they're going to be in two different. You're going to have to log out. If you register for summer, you're going to have to log out, log back in somewhere else, and register for fall.
Okay, so that's with Jaguar Connect, right? It's going to be completely changed.
It's going to be different, yes.
And is it going to be? It's user friendly, I assume. Like students aren't going to need to.
It's still Banner. It'll. We're going to probably make it look similar to what we have. But what we're using right now, Jaguar Connect, is Kingsville's system. We've just made it look like ours, and so the other one will be ours. You'll get to see different things. You probably won't see any blue and gold. What do they call their system? Blue and gold, isn't it?
I think so.
You probably won't get any communication from Kingsville anymore. It'll all be us.
Okay. We are our own now.
At yes.
Own now.
At yes.
Own now.